The following direct community access has been issued at the request of a local authority, effective until December 7, 1999. The Sheriff Department has been getting increased reports of missing persons, with no clear pattern or explanation. If you notice strange activity in your neighborhood, contact the Sheriff Department immediately. The cause of these disappearances is currently unknown but under investigation. Ensure that you lock your doors when leaving and entering your home, as well as closing and locking your windows when you leave your home and before bed. Remember that using deadly force against an intruder to defend yourself and your family is both lawful and strongly encouraged. Authorities are increasing patrols and working closely with state officials. Stay safe and stay alert. Stay tuned for more information on this developing situation. The following direct community access is being issued at the request of a local authority. All residents of Mandela County are ordered to shelter in place due to an extremely dangerous emergency. Make your way to your homes immediately and lock all doors and windows, then barricade all entrances, including any other possible entry points. Do not, under any circumstances, attempt to leave the legal bounds of Mandela County. Neighboring county sheriff departments have blockaded all roads and exits. Failure to comply could result in arrest or injury. Neighboring counties have instated a nighttime curfew for all civilians, except for essential workers. An unforeseen and undisclosed threat is presenting an imminent danger to all residents of Mandela County. The severity of this threat has reached a critical level that requires immediate action by authorities. An evacuation of Mandela County may be ordered soon. We understand this situation is alarming, but these measures are necessary to ensure your safety. Stay tuned for further updates on this rapidly developing situation. The following shelter-in-place order is being issued at the request of the Wisconsin Department of Military Affairs. Dangerous entities are attacking civilians. The nature of these entities cannot be disclosed at this time. All residents of Mandela County and neighboring counties are ordered to shelter in place due to an extremely dangerous emergency. The Wisconsin State Police and Emergency Management are blockading all entrances and exits to Mandela County and surrounding counties, with the Wisconsin National Guard deployed to assist in the blockade. All airspace within 10 miles of the blockaded zone is heavily restricted by the Wisconsin National Guard. Telecommunications and internet services are being heavily restricted for civilians and local law enforcement in the blockaded counties. An evacuation is being prepared by the Wisconsin National Guard, but no date has been set. Do not attempt to escape the blockaded counties. National Guard soldiers have strict orders to shoot anyone on sight attempting to escape. The Wisconsin Air National Guard will airdrop food, water, medical supplies, and flashlights with batteries tomorrow at 12 p.m. to local police stations, sheriff stations, and other designated locations. Assault rifles and pistols will also be delivered to these stations for distribution to the public. All men and women are allowed one assault rifle each, and children 13 and up are allowed one pistol with parental consent. Extra ammunition will be provided per weapon. All residents are urged to claim a weapon as soon as supplies are available. Upon returning home, or if you remain home, ensure all entrances are barricaded and stay away from windows. If you or a family member is missing, do not attempt to search for them. The situation is critical, and these measures are necessary for the survival of all residents. All regularly scheduled programming will now cease. Stay tuned for more information on this dangerous situation. The following shelter-in-place order is being issued at the request of the Wisconsin Department of Military Affairs. All residents of Milwaukee are urged to take shelter in their homes immediately. The entire state of Wisconsin is now under a state of emergency. As you may know, the lockdown of Mandela County was due to an extremely dangerous situation. Highly dangerous entities have been blockaded within Mandela County by Wisconsin authorities. However, there have been several reports of attacks outside the containment zone, indicating a potential breach. These entities may now be spreading beyond the initial lockdown area. Due to this critical threat, the Wisconsin government is locking down the entire state of Wisconsin. The Illinois National Guard, Iowa National Guard, Michigan National Guard, and Minnesota National Guard are being deployed to assist in the blockade of state borders. Do not attempt to leave Wisconsin. Soldiers have strict orders to shoot anyone on sight attempting to leave the state. Wisconsin airspace and Great Lakes access are being heavily restricted by the Wisconsin National Guard and the United States military. Telecommunications and internet services are being heavily restricted. All citizens are urged to use lethal force against anything or anyone that breaks into their home or shelter. An evacuation of Wisconsin is being prepared. The United States National Guard will be airdropping food, water, and medical supplies within the week. We understand that this situation is terrifying, but these measures are necessary for your survival. All regularly scheduled programming will now cease. Stay tuned for more information on this dangerous situation. The following civil danger warning is being issued at the request of the Chicago Office of Emergency Management. There have been multiple reports of attacks and missing persons throughout the last 3 days. The Chicago Police Department is on high alert. All citizens within the Chicago metropolitan area should seek shelter in their homes immediately. Illinois state authorities will be responding to this situation shortly. The Illinois National Guard will be deployed.
This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. The following emergency action notification is being issued at the request of the Department of Defense and the White House to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. During this national emergency, broadcasting and cable systems will remain active to provide news and information to the public in their assigned areas. This is Rogue Radio, serving the Chicago metropolitan area. If you are outside this area, tune to a station providing news and information for your location. Do not use telephones. Telephone lines should be kept open for emergency use only. There are national reports of attacks by hostile humanoid creatures across the United States. Although these creatures can appear human, they are not considered human. The United States government is still trying to fully understand this unprecedented threat. For your immediate safety, all civilians are highly advised to take shelter in their homes. Do not leave your homes for any reason. If any family members or friends are missing, do not attempt to locate them. Hospitals and schools will receive instructions on how to handle this situation, and public places will notify everyone accordingly. Close and lock all doors and windows, and barricade all entrances to your home. Stay away from windows and isolate yourself and your family from the outside world. If you hear something or someone outside your home, even if it's a plea for help, do not investigate or interact with the source of the noise. If you hear something or someone break into your home, hide immediately. Remember that you have the right to defend yourself and your family. We understand the fear and confusion this situation may cause, but your safety is our top priority. More information on this threat will be released as soon as it becomes available. This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. The following National Temporal Phenomena Warning is being issued at the request of the United States Department of Temporal Phenomena, authorized by the White House to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. The United States Department of Temporal Phenomena, or USDTP, is an independent federal executive department. For a classified number of years, the USDTP has been studying the creatures now attacking the United States. These creatures have been named alternates. The USDTP has identified 3 types of alternates. Pay close attention to the following information, as it is critical to saving your life. Type 1. Alternate. This type takes on the form of a human. It will select a human target and assume their appearance with minor to major discrepancies. This entity may manifest into this world already resembling its human target, or it may kill the target and take control of their body, or even inhabit a recently deceased person. The key differences between an alternate and the human it is impersonating include variations in clothing, hairstyle, mood, and personality. Voice alterations may range from minor changes to a complete inability to speak coherently. This entity can also negatively alter your mood simply by being in its presence, leading to feelings of unease, dread, sadness, or anger. Due to its human form, this type of alternate is more susceptible to damage from weapons, but you should still avoid any contact as they are more resilient than a human. If you notice any friends or family members exhibiting these changes, maintain your distance and escape if possible. Type 1. Alternates are intelligent and will wait for the right moment to strike. If you are hiding, it may use psychological warfare to draw you out or inflict severe mental distress, potentially leading to suicide. This concludes the information on Type 1 alternates. Stay tuned for further details on this dangerous situation, including information on additional types of alternates. Remember, your understanding of this threat could be the difference between life and death. Extreme emergency alert. Pay close attention. Extreme emergency alert. Pay close attention. Extreme emergency alert. Pay close attention. This is a global emergency. Important details will follow. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. The following National Temporal Phenomena Child Abduction Warning is being transmitted at the request of the Department of Temporal Phenomena, the Department of Defense, and the White House from a primary entry point system to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. This is an attack warning. Repeat, this is an attack warning. An attack warning means an attack against the United States is imminent or is currently taking place. There are reports within the United States and internationally of mass child abductions. Children are suddenly disappearing from homes. The USDTP has concluded that this is a result of an entity known as an intruder. Although an intruder is not the same as an alternate, they originate from the same place as alternates. Only one type of intruder has been identified. The intruder seems to only be able to physically interact with children and dead bodies. For your children's immediate safety, ensure your children do not have access to television or other mediums that can potentially project frightening imagery, unless they are under your direct visual supervision at all times. If your child is viewing television or another medium that can project frightening imagery without your supervision, immediately separate your child from the device or supervise them at all times. However, if you hear screaming from a separate room that your child is in, do not, under any circumstances, enter the room until the screaming has ceased. This is for your own safety. Once there is no more screaming or noise, you may enter the room. Destroy the television or medium immediately. Although intruders aren't known to physically interact with adults, they can inflict severe mental distress if an adult views them. Intruders can induce severe anxiety, severe depression, overwhelming dread, and severe uneasiness. They can also induce a classified rare mental disorder that cannot be disclosed at this time. Intruders are also known to tamper with dead bodies. Tampering may include making the body bleed, float, shake, walk, and talk. Intruders seem to only appear on analog television. They can use analog signals to project themselves onto televisions. There are no known cases where intruders have used digital signals to project themselves onto televisions. This may be due to the technological limitations of intruders. It is recommended to use digital televisions to reduce the chance of an intruder encounter. Remember, in this crisis, what you can't see may be the most dangerous of all. This concludes this broadcast. Stay tuned for information on this dangerous situation. This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. This temporal phenomena survival message is being transmitted at the request of the United States Department of Temporal Phenomena from a primary entry point system to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. Information on Type 3 alternates will be disclosed at this time. Information on Type 2 alternates is highly classified and will not be made public for your safety. Type 3 alternates are much more aggressive and significantly easier to detect than their Type 1 counterparts. Although they retain a distinct humanoid figure, they exhibit major physical discrepancies. These features may include one or several of the following: missing or misplaced facial features such as eyes, ears, nose, or mouth, and impossible human biological characteristics such as asymmetrical or disproportionate limbs. These entities may also float and move in ways that are distinctly non-human. They can appear completely black or may have only a completely black face and neck with glowing white eyes. They can be difficult to see in low-light conditions. The countless biological impossibilities that these entities possess make them very easy to identify. If you are hiding from a Type 3 alternate, it will likely use psychological warfare to draw you out or inflict severe mental distress, which can lead to suicide. Avoid contact at all costs and evade detection if possible. These entities are extremely dangerous. Your vigilance is critical to your survival. This concludes this broadcast. Stay tuned for more information on this dangerous situation. The following national statement is being transmitted at the request of the Department of Defense and the White House from a primary entry point system to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. It has been discovered that the President of the United States was a Type 1 alternate and was neutralized by Secret Service agents after the alternate requested the launch of nuclear missiles. The Vice President has been found dead by suicide following an encounter with an alternate. Due to the current global and national crisis, the Secretary of the Department of Temporal Phenomena will temporarily assume the role of President of the United States. All internationally deployed military personnel will be returning to the United States due to the ongoing alternate crisis and other unfolding events across Europe and Asia. Several governments and terrorist organizations are exploiting this global crisis for their own gain. The Russian Federation has initiated a full-scale invasion of Estonia, Latvia, Belarus, Ukraine, and Georgia. North Korea has launched a full-scale invasion of South Korea. China has begun the invasion of Taiwan and is initiating a full-scale invasion of India, while also seizing parts of southern Russia. Pakistan and India have declared war. Several conflicts have erupted in the Middle East, and terrorist organizations are seizing control of governments in Africa and the Middle East. At this time, the United States, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and other allies have agreed not to participate in these wars due to the current global crisis. Riots are breaking out in many countries, including the United States. The situation is rapidly deteriorating, with global systems of communication, defense, and governance under immense strain. End of message. The following temporal phenomena survival message is being transmitted at the request of the United States Department of Temporal Phenomena and the White House from a primary entry point system to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. Please stand by for vital information on your survival. A new disorder has been discovered that is related to the alternate invasion. It is called metaphysical awareness disorder. This is a fatal mental illness that is closely related to severe depression. This disorder has seen a sudden spike of cases globally due to the alternates. Metaphysical awareness disorder is a result of exposure to certain information that is not desired to be known. The rate of suicide due to this severe mental illness is 97%. Do not panic. Panic will only worsen the effects or increase the chances of developing this disorder. The Department of Temporal Phenomena has come up with steps to reduce development or reduce effects of metaphysical awareness disorder. The first step is to avoid excessively frequent use of religious practices. The second step is to avoid unnecessary beliefs and philosophical implications. Lastly, looking after your loved ones is a key factor for maintaining mental stability. We thank our Department of Defense for staying informed on global news even during this global crisis. The Department of Temporal Phenomena strongly advises all citizens to seek shelter immediately. Do not participate in any rioting or looting. There has been reports of Type 3 alternate attacks on rioters and looters, which indicates that Type 3 alternates becomes extremely aggressive against large groups of people in public places. There have also been reports of National Guard soldiers firing on civilians and other National Guard soldiers. We believe that these are Type 1 alternates. As a result, all National Guard troops will no longer be deployed. Do not follow the instruction of any National Guard soldier. All sheriff, state, and federal law enforcement are required to go through intensive testing to ensure they are human. Follow the instruction of any of the listed types of law enforcement officer. This concludes this broadcast. Stay tuned for more information on this dangerous situation. The following temporal phenomena survival message is being transmitted at the request of the United States Department of Temporal Phenomena and the White House from a primary entry point system to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. Please stand by for vital information on your survival. The United States President and the United Nations has authorized the Television and Mirror Destruction Order, which requires any citizen in possession of any analog devices to contact their local authority to dispose of any analog devices. Failure in complying with this order is considered a felony under United States law and is also an international crime. Charges will be brought against you and you will face life imprisonment with no chance of parole with a fine of up to $100,000. Active resistance to following this law, which includes but is not limited to hiding analog devices, lying about being in possession of analog devices, and preventing law enforcement from taking or destroying analog devices, is unlawful. If you actively resist, you and everyone in your home will be considered an enemy of the state that is directly aiding in the extinction of humanity, and everyone in your home will be executed. The Federal Bureau of Investigation will be searching for analog signals in 5 minutes, so do not try to use or hide analog devices. Intruders can turn on devices even if they are off or if disconnected from a power source, so do not delay in notifying law enforcement of any analog device. Do not bring your analog device to the front door. Do not look at the analog device. Do not touch the analog device. Do not try to listen for your analog device. Do not be in the same room as the analog device. Do not even acknowledge the analog device until law enforcement arrive, in which you will show them exactly where it is so they may properly dispose of it. If you are listening to this broadcast with an analog device, turn it off and leave the room immediately, then contact law enforcement. You will be given a digital transmission device. We thank you for your compliance. Stay tuned for more information on this dangerous situation. The following temporal phenomena survival message is being transmitted at the request of the United States Department of Temporal Phenomena and the White House from a primary entry point system to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. Please stand by for vital information on your survival. It has been discovered that alternate can find you with a combination of direct visual contact, noise, and fear. Your fear will be used to find your general area, and higher fear means they can pinpoint where you are more accurately. This especially makes intruders more dangerous since they cause a very sudden and violent spike in fear once they are seen. An alternate's eyesight is far superior to any known living being. It can see in complete darkness. Unfortunately, we do not know how well their hearing is, and if they will leave your home after searching for a long time. We recommend hiding out of sight from these.
Do not be afraid, my dear shepherds. I have great news. I am your true savior. I know everything about what makes you human. I know what you love. I know what you dread.
The emergency alert system is currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. The emergency alert system is currently experiencing difficulties in broadcasting digital signals. The emergency alert system analog signal broadcasting is operational. Digital signal broadcasting will be disabled shortly and will stay disabled until repaired. Use a device that can receive analog signals immediately. This includes television and radio devices that can receive analog signals.
A transmission being broadcasted by the federal government has issued a civil danger warning for the United States. This is an attack warning. Repeat, this is an attack warning. The broadcast that you received from the emergency alert system was not broadcasted at the request of the United States government. The broadcast was transmitted by an unknown entity, appearing as some sort of a higher being. If you are watching this on an analog television, turn it off immediately and dispose of it. Call 911 so local law enforcement can dispose of it. Turn off your analog device now.
Why do you try to escape while you fear? You will be punished for resisting my message.